Okay, Yevamos, Daf Vav. So if you recall, 2 days ago on Daf Recap Yevamos, we learned in a Mishnah that Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel argue about about co-wives of an erva. Do they have to do yibum? Can they do yibum? Beis Shammai is of the opinion that the co-wife of an erva can do yibum, and once they do so, they're then eligible. They could marry an erva. Beis Hillel, on the other hand, says that they're patur from yibum. They don't need to do it. And so that sort of led off this discussion that we started, or we ended yesterday's daf, and we're going to just pretty much carry the entire way today, is Beis Shammai versus Beis Hillel. We know that Beis Hillel is ultimately correct, right? There's a bas kol. And we hold like Beis Hillel in most cases. But did Beis Shammai, in practice, follow their own opinion? In other words, did they allow a co-wife to do yibum for an erva? Or did they follow Beis Hillel, even though they held one way, but they followed another way? That's the question. So yesterday's daf, we brought up 2 proofs. We ended off with the third, but we didn't actually disprove it. Today, we're bringing 11 proofs, and about 11 proofs. Well, 11 proofs in total. Today we're going to do pretty much 3 through 11. I don't know if there's time to really cover all of them, but we are going to end up with some knockouts. So there is a conclusion to this saga. So, I'll bring up a couple of them. So one of them is there's a brisa with Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri, Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri, where he basically said, okay, in practice, what are we supposed to do? He suggests that we should institute that all co-wives of an erva should automatically do chalitza, which would satisfy all the shitas, because it means that they would prevent there from being any mamzerim from an improper marriage. And Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel, he stands up to that and he says, well, then what are we supposed to do about the women who already did yibum? If we're going to say that everyone should do chalitza moving forward, what about the women who already did? So can we prove from that comment that Beis Shammai had been practicing that women could do yibum for their ervas? It sounds like maybe you can. In which case, that's a proof that Beis Shammai followed their own opinions. And so that's that's proof number 3. We ultimately reject that. Why? Because we say no. What he's really asking is just is for the women, Beis Hillel's women who married their co-wives without needing yibum. What's the deal with them? So it's not a proof for Beis Shammai. It's a proof that Beis Hillel followed their opinion. Then we have another proof. Rabbi Tarfon mentioned that he was longing for his daughter's tzara, meaning his daughter's co-wife who was married to his brother. He was longing for the time when she would fall into Rabbi Tarfon's hands. So doesn't that prove that if you're able to go for the tzara of an erva, doesn't that prove that it's that Beis Shammai is practicing according to their opinions? We reject that and say no. He's saying I'm longing for the time where I could then basically marry off my daughter's co-wife, not that I could marry my daughter's co-wife. Why would he be longing for that? I'm not sure, especially if he's going to be marrying her off someone else. I don't know. So Ian Godel. That was proof number 4. Proof number 5 is the daughter of Rabbi Gamliel, who was married to his brother. This is the exact case in the Mishnah. Rabbi Gamliel married her co-wife, which, technically, according to Beis Hillel, should not be allowed. You're patur from yibum. And how could he do so? Doesn't that prove that that Beis Shammai's opinion was incorporated in practice? The answer was saying no, because you might think, well, there are 3 different reasons. Either because she was nihilinist, meaning she couldn't have kids. She was it's a special type of category, and the cases of tsaras erva did not apply by nihilinist. You could say that is a separate case because, well, there are a few different reasons, but he married her, and then before the brother passed away, he divorced the erva, aka Rabbi Gamliel's daughter. So now this co-wife is sort of floating, not really connected to the erva in any way. There are a few different reasons, but the bottom line is it doesn't teach us what we're looking for. Then there's another proof. Rabbi Akiva took two, like he picked an esrog on the first day of Shvat. So now we're sort of taking a step back and we're saying, we're not just talking about Yibam Chalitza, we're just saying in general, Beis Shammai's din, do they hold like their own opinions, even if we don't pass on the halacha. So there's an incident in which Rabbi Akiva took two meisters for an esrog that he picked on the first day of Shvat. And the reason why he did so, maybe we want to say is because he holds like Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel, there's a suffix. And that's why you have to take one for a Meiser Ani and one for Meiser Sheni. I think Meiser Ani is the second year and Meiser Sheni is the third year, or vice versa. But because he was holding by both opinions, and the Rosh Hashanah is on the first day of Shvat, maybe I had to do both. And we reject that by saying, no, he really does hold like Beis Hillel. He just didn't really know if Beis Hillel held that Rosh Hashanah for fruits was on the 1st of Shvat or the 15th of Shvat, aka Tu B'Shvat. So that was the problem. The Gemara brings a few other proofs as well, but the ones that are actually knockouts are pretty much that there's an incident where Rabbi Tzadok sent a jar of olives to Rabbi Yochanan HaChorani because he didn't have food to eat. It was during a drought. And Rabbi Yochanan sent them back and said, I don't eat these olives. He was worried that the olives were tameh because they were a little bit wet. And Rabbi Tzadok responded, no, there was perforation in the jar, meaning I didn't want the moisture to be in the jar, it just got stuck in there by accident. And the rule is, if you don't intentionally want the olives to be wet, they're not mekabel tumah. They're not susceptible to tumah. So basically, even though he was a Talmud of Rabbi Beis Shammai, he still paskin like Rabbi, like Beis Hillel. And why is that a proof? I'm blanking. Why did he paskin like why is this a successful proof? Because it shows that he did hold like even though he's a Talmud of Shammai, he held like Beis Hillel. I don't know. I gotta just review. I think this is an obvious one that I just don't remember. So I'm going to review it and comment on it tomorrow's Daf. Thanks. Bye.